Is it safe to go get my visa stamp? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States at our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. In this video, we're going to talk about getting stamps in your passport. So everybody knows that if you have a non-immigrant or a dual intent visa to come to the United States, like a B1, B2, an F1, a H1B, an H4, these kinds of visas, a lot of times if you leave the United States, you're going to have to get it renewed. And how does that work? So some people receive what are called multiple entry visas. Some people receive single entry visas. But in any event, your visa is simply your ticket into the United States. It may or may not contain the deadline for when you have to leave. And sometimes, especially in the F1 context or in the H1B context, people will be in the United States long after the visa stamp in their passport has expired. And they have maintained their status on F1 or they've extended their status on H1B, but their passport does not reflect the fact that USCIS has extended their stay in the United States. And so if they leave the United States, if they go back home to see their sick grandmama, or if they go back because it's been a while since they visited, they are actually going to have to file a new DS-160 and schedule an interview at the embassy to get a new stamp in their passport. And that is what we're talking about. Is it safe to leave the United States to go get that stamp when your extension has already been granted? Right? So if you're on an F1, you're in status for your duration of status. If you're on an H1B and you have filed a 539 to get your status extended or your H1B renewed, then you're going to have to go to the embassy and get a new ticket into the United States, a new visa. And what happens, sadly, is in about 5% of the cases, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, people end up being stuck outside the United States in what's called administrative processing for months and months. So the question that you must ask yourself is, can I afford to be stuck outside the United States if my visa stamping takes more than a month or two? What's going to happen to my job? What's going to happen to my mortgage? What's going to happen to my bank account? Am I going to have a future here in the United States? Is my employer going to continue to support me if, for whatever reason, the embassy decides, we don't feel like giving you a visa today, administrative processing, or hey, fill out this DS-5535 and we'll get back to you when we feel like it. It doesn't happen in the vast majority of cases, but the thing is, with so many issues in immigration, it's something where there's a small chance of it happening, but a huge problem if it does. Most people can't keep their job if they're gone out of the country for 3-4 months, especially if it's a manual job. And this is what you need to think about. You need to think about worst case scenario, not best case scenario, not, everything's going to be fine, I'll go over and get my visa. You need to do a deep dive into what's going on at your embassy. Some of the embassies we see real problems with are in the Middle East, in Canada. These are the kinds of places where people are getting stuck. So if you are thinking about leaving the United States and you have an extension of your status but don't have that visa stamp, you have to ask yourself, can I afford to be outside the United States for so very long? If you're looking for help with this, you can come on my Immigration Answer Show and ask me about it. It's free. It's on YouTube. We'd love to help you there. If you're stuck outside the United States and you want to sue the government, we can do that for you too. Just call us 314-961-8200. If you're looking for general information about immigration, join our Facebook group. It's called Immigrant Home. We'd love to have you join us there. And if you're not already, please follow us on TikTok at Immigration Hacking. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.